ang bill ko kasi, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair, inisip ko na lahat ng mga kababayan natin, pamilya, gumagamit na hindi sobra sa 230 kilowatt hours. Let us assume that per kilowatt hour ay 15 pesos. Yung 230 kilowatts, Mr. Secretary, times 15, that's only 3,450 pesos. Pag minultiply mo yun sa 5.5 million families, that will only be between 17.5 to 18 billion. Kaya tama-tama yung AX mo eh. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi sa akin practical ito eh. Diretso sa tao, walang makukurap along the way. Kasi ipakikita lang ng household eh. O 215 ang kilowatt hours ang consumption ko, 200 or pababa, lahat sila makocover eh. Ibig sabihin, ang subsidy diretsong pupunta sa pamilya. Covered na covered mo ngayon, walang politikong makakapagpasikat ngayon. Akala mo galing sa bulsa niya yung AX eh. Lalo na yung AKAP. Nangyari ito nung eleksyon eh. Ako naman, wala naman akong AKAP noon dahil tinanggal lahat sa akin sapagkat kinalaban ko silang lahat. Wala rin akong AX. Ang mga kalaban ko, napakaraming AX. Ang dami naman.
Ang pinakamasaklap, redundant. No? Ibig sabihin, nasasayang yung pera at inefficient. So I understand that AKAP is not carried over to 2026 because AKAP for me is a redundant program. In fact, tinignan rin namin yung program niya. Pag titignan natin yung program niya, halos kaparehas rin ng AX except for material assistance and psychological assistance. So parehong-pareho lang siya. No? So sayang lang, no? Dodoble lang yung binibigay natin at nagiging inefficient siya. So I hope I would get the support of our colleagues. Pag nag-reincarnate to sa BICAM, we will not allow AKAP to reincarnate in the BICAM.
Okay. Let's give the floor now to Senator Marcoleta.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair. I will be brief now kasi nag-start na yung CA, Mr. Secretary. I will just be interested in asking you the number of indigents who actually availed and received the services of this lifetime rate subsidy. Lifeline.
Madam Chair, I'll drop the data and state it in a bit. We're pulling it up. Pero maliit lang ho siya. The reason being, I've met, for as of June 15, 2025, the enrollees are 281,000. Nung July, lumaki lang ho ng 1,000, 269,546. Now,
tama yun. I will not question that kasi karaniwan ang nagbibigay niyan ay yung Meralco kaya alam natin na it's about 200,000 plus. Meron kasi akong pinanukalang bill, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair, na para masiguro natin, halimbawa yung AX, dito sa budget mo ngayon ay parang 17.7 billion na lang ang binibigay sa inyo. Napansin ko kasi itong, lalo na itong nakaraang eleksyon, yung AX kasama yung tupad at iba pang mga ibinibigay, lalo na yung AKAP, talagang sabi nga ng, ito mismong report na ng COA kasi, no? Duplication of AKAP with AX program based in accounting and budgetary records. A determining factor between AKAP and AX has not been clearly established, leading to multiple availment of financial assistance by the same beneficiaries. Kaya hindi naging malinaw. I am sure yung impact nito hindi talaga ma-measure. Ano ba talaga ito? At saka pati yung number of beneficiaries nagka-doble-doble. Ang bill ko kasi, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair, inisip ko na lahat ng mga kababayan natin, pamilya, na gumagamit na hindi sobra sa 230 kilowatt hours. Let us assume that per kilowatt hour ay 15 pesos. At kung totoo ng ating may hirap na pamilya dito sa statistics, pero 2023 kasi PSA ito, nakailagay rito ay 17.4 million Pilipinos lang, assuming na bawat pamilya ay merong limang membro, 3.5 million families ito. Pero dahil sa 2023 estimates ito, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair, ni-raise ko na sa 5.5 million families. Pag binultiply mo yun, yung 3,000, yung 230 kilowatts, Mr. Secretary, times 15, that's only 3,450 pesos. Pag minultiply mo yun sa 5.5 million families, that will only be between 17.5 to 18 billion. Kaya tama-tama yung AX mo eh. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi sa akin practical ito eh. Diretso sa tao, walang makukurap along the way. Kasi ipakikita lang ng household eh. O 215 ang kilowatt hours ang consumption ko, 200 or pababa, lahat sila makocover eh. Ibig sabihin, ang subsidy diretsong pupunta sa pamilya. Covered na covered mo ngayon, walang politikong makakapagpasikat ngayon. Akala mo galing sa bulsa niya yung AX eh. Lalo na yung AKAP. Nangyari ito nung eleksyon eh. Ako naman, wala naman akong AKAP noon dahil tinanggal lahat sa akin sapagkat kinalaban ko silang lahat. Wala rin akong AX. Ang mga kalaban ko, napakaraming AX. Ang dami. So para hindi natin mapolitika, Mr. Secretary, maski dito lamang, ang AX kasi wala namang enabling law eh. It's just an internal guideline vis-a-vis the mandate issued by Intupad, wala rin. Sa DOLE. MAIP, wala rin enabling law. AX, ganun din yun. So siguro internally magagawa natin to. Diretso, what do you think? It's a very practical measure na madi-deliver natin at palagay ko zero corruption ito.
Madam Chair, if it passes, kami ho, whatever the policy makers, lawmakers come up with, we will implement it the way the law will be stated, Madam Chair.
Hindi kasi bill pa lang eh. Kaya sabi ko, bago pa, kasi medyo matagal to, alam mo naman kung paano, gaano katagal ko para magawa yung batas. Siguro internally, magawa natin, considering yung tupad, AX, and even the MAIP and AKAP, talagang wala namang enabling law, pero nagawa natin. On the practical side, ang sinasabi ko, kasi 17 point something billion ka rin, ito nakukwenta ko, diretso sa tao, ang measurement is only 230 kilowatt hours sa 15 pesos per kilowatt hour, very easily. It's between 18 to 19 billion lang. Madali. Kung wala ka naman, kung hindi naman ko kontra ang secretary, para sa atin, pwede nating pag-usapan kagad until it becomes a law. Kasi sa ngayon, Mr. Secretary, kung mapapansin mo, yung 100% na lifeline rate, yun lamang nakaka-consume ng 20 kilowatts per month. Parang nagsindi ng ilaw yung isang pamilya, isang araw lang. Yun lang ang 20 kilowatts eh. Pero dito sa bill ko nga, 230 kilowatts. Pero mako-cover mo the entire spectrum nung sinasabi mong 17.4 million poor Filipinos or about 3.5 million families. It's a very practical measure for you to consider.
Madam Chair, anything that will help the poor, the marginalized, and the vulnerable will gladly support. We'll send someone to collaborate with the office of Senator Marcoleta to see where we can fine-tune all these details.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. The CA is starting, tatakbo lamang ako doon. Pero babalik ako for the other questions that I will raise. Salamat, Mr. Secretary. Madam Chair, salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. Go ahead. The floor now to our chairperson on the Committee on Finance.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Madam Chairperson, I'll take off where Senator Erwin left off, and this is on the topic of AKAP. I think, well, this is not the AKAP was not a formulation of the department, let alone the secretary. It was a formulation of Congress, particularly House of Representatives. So we've been looking at this AKAP because we were anticipating baka masundan ulit dito sa 2026 budget. So I'll show a slide what AKAP has produced for the last 2 years. And if you look at the poverty incidents of the different regions compared to the beneficiaries, parang lumalabas, mas mataas yung poverty incidents, mas konti yung beneficiaries. Mas mababa yung poverty incidents, mas maraming beneficiaries. So, baligtad. Dapat, diba, pag mas mataas yung poverty incidents, mas mataas yung beneficiaries. Pag mas mababa yung poverty incidents, mas mababa yung beneficiaries. And taking off where Senator Marcoleta mentioned earlier, it's also the same observation by COA na yung AKAP is functionally redundant with AIX and among others, no, maraming mga issues on AKAP. Again, I'm not pointing fingers at the department. This is not a formulation or a creation of the department. In fact, lumabas lang to sa BICAM. And I just want to make a point and put it on record. Pag ang programa hindi na pag-usapan na mabuti, ganito talaga mangyayari. No? Maraming COA findings, yung intention hindi nangyayari dahil kabaligtaran pa yung nangyayari. At ang pinakamasaklap, redundant. No? Ibig sabihin, nasasayang yung pera at inefficient. So I understand that AKAP is not carried over to 2026 and instead the AIX program will take over AKAP. And personally, and I want to get the support of our colleagues, I support that because AKAP for me is a redundant program. In fact, tinignan din namin yung program niya. Pag titignan natin yung program niya, halos kaparehas din ng AIX except for material assistance and psychological assistance. So parehong-pareho lang siya. No? So sayang lang, no? Dodoble lang yung binibigay natin at nagiging inefficient siya. So I hope I would get the support of our colleagues. Pag nag-reincarnate to sa BICAM, we will not allow AKAP to reincarnate in the BICAM. No, that's for sure. Kasi meron naman AIX. And may proposal rin sa mga colleagues natin na instead of reincarnating AKAP, we'll just put additional funding in AIX, no? Para ma-cover natin yung mga deficiency. And that's what Senator Erwin actually is proposing. So we will try to find funds para ma-boost up natin yung AIX at hindi na ulit-ulit pa yung mga programa. No? So I would like any comments from the Secretary?
Madam Chair, first of all, I've already stated that we will always abide by what the policymakers come up with in the budget season. We are always, whenever we get the GAA, we are dealt with cards that we have to make do with. In the sense of AKAP, Madam Chair, if I may just point out, and I'm not going to argue with the good senator when in his points, I just also want to put it on the table. One, if you look at the special provision for AKAP in 2023, it used the word low income. It never said minimum wage or below minimum wage. It was only during the 2025 budget that nakahon siya into people below minimum wage. So if I were to respond to that plotting, low income, so we were given that budget and we were given a special provision. It was up to the department to define what low income was. So kasi may mga circumstantial cases. For instance, a solo parent who makes above minimum wage, clearly not in the poverty line, but has multiple kids or is taking care of their older parents. So our social workers, when we defined the guidelines, and you can look at the two sets of guidelines, defined low income as based on the social worker's case intake. Kasi iba-ibang circumstances. So low income could be above minimum wage ka, pero near poor ka pa rin kasi at the end of the day, you don't have enough to meet the basic needs of your family. Circumstances was the main driver of that. So hindi necessarily na nasa Metro Manila mas marami sila. It's on demand as the need arises. But clearly the menus look alike. That piece of issue we cannot deny. Magkamukha ho yung menu nila. So again, AKAP, there's a lot of parang misconception, I guess, or iba-ibang take on AKAP. Some people think AKAP was just haphazardly being given to everybody, but quite the contrary, it's on demand. Kamukha siya ng AIX, on demand. And that in the 2024 implementation, our department defined low incomeness through the eyes of a social worker. Na pag may, di ba sa start, may social workers intake, doon niya na ini-interview lahat. Ilan ba anak mo? So and so forth. So not necessarily na below poverty or below minimum wage bago ka makakwalify sa AKAP. Number two, as I mentioned, I will not deny the fact that the menus look alike and we will welcome any augmentation to AIX. Kami, any opportunity or any chance that is given to us to be able to fulfill our mandate, we will take. As I mentioned, whatever cards are dealt with us, we make do with them. And we make sure that it reaches the most vulnerable, the poorest of our society.
Yung low income and near poor, actually even the PSA doesn't have a definition for that. No, it's really a vague number until now. No, we know the concept, we know we know those people, but in terms of definition, there's no strict definition, and that's the point I'm trying to make. Parang binigay na yung pondo, tsaka lang natin i-define. No. In a program such as this, AKAP, which is about 26 billion pesos more or less, you have to study the program first kasi ang laki ng programa eh. No? Sa laki ng programa, we have to make sure that the program is well studied, may feasibility study, and yung outcomes very clear. No? But in this case, dahil nag-appear lang siya sa BICAM, the whole 26 billion, tsaka lang napag-aralan. And that's what we don't want to allow here in the Senate. Now, we want programs that are well studied, may feasibility study, the outcomes very clear, so that if we put money, alam natin may impact. Rather than baligtad, lalagay tayo ng pera, tsaka na natin pag-usapan ng impact. So I just want to put that on record because we want to make sure that AKAP will not reincarnate in the BICAM and we will not allow that.
Madam Chair, with the indulgence of the Finance Committee Chair, I would suggest siguro, Madam Chair, to look into that yung budget from flood control ng Public Works and Highways. Maybe we can get some of it, a part of it, and put it here sa DSWD. Not only sa AIX, kundi also with the Sustainable Livelihood Program. Perhaps we can do that. We can look into it or study it, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, the point of Senator Gatchalian is well taken, and we appreciate the push of Senator Tulfo in augmenting these crucial programs of the department.
Thank you for that, Mr. Secretary. The other one is also a very important topic that Senator Erwin brought up, and this is on the topic of case management of the returnees. Because yesterday we had a meeting with OPAPRU, and si General Galvez was very clear that they're relying on DSWD on that case management, no? Because yung case management na yan, magkakaroon na tayo ng biometrics identity ng lahat ng returnees, no? Because in the next few years, government will spend approximately 40 billion pesos for socio-economic grants to the returnees. Ganong kalaki ang ibibigay natin. So ayaw natin magkaroon ng duplication, ayaw natin inaabuso yung pondo. So that case management activity is very important for DSWD and also for OPAPRU, especially for the returnees. Now, I heard earlier that the department has no budget for that case management.
Madam Chair, to expound further, so what happens is OPAPRU because they don't have boots on the ground, kami ho nagpe-pay out for them. And the moment it's paid out, I've been to these payout sessions in Mindanao. We're talking about individuals without national ID system, PhilSys IDs. They have different names. They have combatant names. So at the get-go, meron hong, when I got to the department, I think Senator Erwin knows this, meron na talaga ditong system wherein their biometrics are taken, and then the social workers build this rapport with them off the get-go, pagbayad pa lang. Ang nangyayari noon, when hindi lang siya natutuloy kasi contract of service tong mga social worker na to. Pagdating sa dulo ng taon, pag ubos na yung kontrata nila, goodbye. So in one of the hearings here in the Senate, natanong yan sa amin ng OPAPRO ni Senator Raffy kung ano nangyayari, and clearly there was a gap. We assume that BARM, because of meron silang sariling social welfare ministry, would do the case management kasi these are their constituents, and we don't have boots inside BARM anymore. Kaya lang categorically when I met the minister there, she said they don't have the capacity nor the capability. So for 2025, what we did was we moved some funds last year we asked DBM for an inter-cluster move lang. We took the funds from one cluster who we thought couldn't use all that grant and move them into the combat management, case management. But unfortunately, this year, it's been removed again. Nawala ulit siya. DBM acknowledged that it was they thought it was a congressional initiative, but it was not. It was a movement from one department cluster to another. So we're appealing, and I think it's part of the letter that we sent the Good Finance Committee sub-chair, na i-reinstate lang yun kasi hindi ho yun external fund. It's part of the department's overall fund for 2025.
Magkano yun? How much is that?
500 million. But as pointed out by Senator Erwin, there are other combatants beyond BARM. Yun, wala ho kaming budget doon. This was really meant to run lang in the BARM because we were piloting it. We're still in the pilot stage. We're looking at regions 9, 10, and 12, yung neighboring areas ng BARM kasi wala kaming field office sa loob ng BARM.
And if I understand it correctly, the 500 million will cover the biometrics.
It will just cover the case management, the administrative cost, because we already have the system in place for the biometrics. It will pay for the wages of the social workers, their supplies. Kasi ang mahirap ho dito, Madam Chair, Mr. Chairman, nasa labas kami nag-ooperate, region 9, 10, and 12. So there's commute going inside BARM to look at these combatants. So we will really require a lot of MOE and PS for this endeavor.
But it will not, duplication will not happen with that
MSSD,
with the case management and with the technology that you're using. Hindi magkakaroon pa ulit-ulit. Kasi we're talking about 14,000
what we have
returnees. No? So we have to make sure na hindi maabuso yung ibinibigay nating pera na 40 billion by duplication, iba lang yung last name, iba na naman tao niya. So we need to have technology and case management.
Madam Chair, we'll gladly show the committee one of these. We'll submit it to you, the interface. When I got to the department, they had a very good software called Courage. Courage, no? Brave. Brave. So it's synonymous to each other. It's a system called Brave. It really takes, I've been to these payout sessions of ex-combatants. They get the biometrics, they get the nom guerre, they put in all the necessary data, and they create that first hand-to-hand bond between the social worker and the ex-combatant. Napuputol lang yun kasi pag naupos na yung contract of service tenure ng social worker, goodbye. So that's why it was very alarming na may gap. Wala hong redundancy with what we have right now. We just simply have the payout and the software and that case management for 2025. MSSD, the ministry of BARM, does not have case management for them.
In short, we have that biometrics.
We have.
Okay,
We have.
and the 500 million will enable OPAPRO to continue with its decommissioning process.
It's not OPAPRO. It's us that does the case management.
Correct. But I think they're working with you.
Yes, they sign off the memorandum of agreement where they transfer the funds for decommissioning to us because kami yung mga kahero, yung SDO, the disbursement officer, and then the case management, we step in. We have numerous types of case managers in the department. We have case managers for care facilities, but this one, we've honed the skills. We're trying to do more modules on ex-combatant or former member of non-state armed groups. So it's basically trying to prevent extremism from happening again.
That's also one of the recommendations, Senator Erwin, to put amounts for the case management so that matuloy-tuloy natin itong pagbibigay ng socio-economic benefits to the returnees. And I support that. Everyone wants peace. And part of the agreement with government is to give them the socio-economic packages. We have to make sure lang hindi madoble-doble. No, that's the point.
Or to the best of our abilities.
Yep.
Mr. Chair, if you would please, Madam Chair, I will direct my question to the Peace and Development Group, who's handling this, Undersecretary Alan Tanhusay, with the permission, of course, of the
Of
Secretary.
course, Madam
The
Chair.
question now is, how do we cultivate, Undersecretary, long-term peace and development in areas affected by the conflict dito po nga sa Mindanao? Ano po ang mga programa natin right now?
Sir, yung Sustainable Livelihood Program na programa natin sa mga former rebels na sumusuko ay natigil po. So naghahanap po tayo ngayon ng pondo.
So, yung ginagamit pa ninyo to sustain, ika nga para hindi na mamundok muli yung mga rebel returnees, ay sustainable livelihood din po ang binibigay po ninyo para they have an income. Tama?
Yes sir, kasi po mayroon kami opportunity, mahabang opportunity with them to interact. Aside from the giving of the livelihood, meron na kaming panahon para makapag-interact sa mga former rebels natin.
All right. Let me go back to Secretary Rex. So, anong plano ninyo? Mukhang marami pong tinapyasan ng DBM po ito na ginagamit po itong SLP doon sa mga magagraduate sa 4Ps. Tapos ginagamit din po natin para sa ika nga Peace and Development Program natin sa mga rebel returnees, and then babawasan po natin. Ano hong plano ngayon? I mean, this will really affect the programs, di po ba, Mr. Secretary?
Madam Chair, the Honorable Senator is correct. Talagang the main vehicle for all of these things to sustain the development side would be the SLP, the Sustainable Livelihood. Kulang na kulang ho talaga. Hindi kami nabawasan, pero kulang ho talaga yung binibigay. It's lodged under the Pamana program. The Pamana program, the LGU-led total is 1.4.
Yes.
1.4 billion in total. This comes into sustainable livelihood grants for ex-combatants and for other development initiatives. But kulang ho yun, Mr. Chair, if you ask me. That's why, ang nangyayari, they would pass on more requests to our regular SLP na hindi naman ho sapat. Kasi pati si like you mentioned, yung 4Ps nandun, yung ngayon pati rebel returnees humihingi doon, kulang na kulang ho talaga.
Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, do you believe, Secretary, na kaya binawasan itong mga social services, ika nga AIX, AKAP, SLP? Could it be because maraming nagreklamo na nagamit ito nung nakaraang eleksyon? Could it be the reason kaya tinapyasan ito ng DBM? Pero tapos na po ang eleksyon eh. Will you agree with me kaya tinapyasan ngayon ng DBM because of that reason na nagamit nung nakaraang halala ng mga politiko, lalo na po yung AKAP na ni-raise po ng isang kasamahan namin dito, yung AIX, pati po yung SLP na yan, hindi lang po sa inyo, pati po sa TUPAD, nagamit din po MAIP for their campaign funds. Will you agree with me, sir? Kaya binawasan ngayon ng NEP itong budget na ito.
Madam Chair, first of all, that is a very prevalent observation, and I will not dispute it. But number two, Madam Chair, ang inaalis po ng DBM from our top line prior year allocation will be amendments introduced during the budget season. Inaalis nila lahat yun back to our bare levels. So that's why at the onset, if you look at it, nabawasan yung mga binanggit yung programa, AIX, AKAP, SLP, because binalik lang nila kami dun sa original na net value namin, not the values that came during the period of amendments in both houses, so and so forth.
Let me just clarify that, Madam Chair, Mr. Chairman. Sometimes po, yung mga incidents po na ganito is beyond the control of the Secretary. Believe me, I was the Secretary of DSWD. When a politician would call me and report to his office, hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin, Sir, hindi ho po pwede yan. All you have to do is just nod your head, otherwise you might lose your job. You don't have to comment on that or agree.
Madam Chair, if I just want to add, we're very thankful to the Office of Senator Tulfo for believing in SLP, the Sustainable Livelihood Program. It has tons of success stories. It's one of our main tools for continued development. Natutuwa ho kami that he appreciates it. Somebody who came from the department, he understands the value of this program.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'll jump to another topic. Half of the budget of DSWD